County Schoolhouse. So, Chief, would you like to?
As you know, because of the lack of busing out of other budget, it's created a bigger problem down at both schools
Talk into the mic.
than what we anticipated. You have a lot of problems down here in the morning. In fact, I know Councilman Williams experiences it. I experience it. It's a nightmare. What I proposed, sat down with the superintendent, I want to make West Third Avenue from Glover Drive to Hirsch one way eastbound, and also a small portion of Williams Avenue directly in front of the school would be one way going out towards, would actually be southbound.
What's the hours? Like an hour would it be?
First I suggested 7 in the morning to 9, and then again in the afternoon from 2 to 4. But I kind of did a little research, and a lot of the towns do the same thing. They do it all day, and that's because of the fact that there's a lot of times when the kids are let out of school early because of inclement weather or half-day sessions, so it'll cover everything. The reason I made it one way coming out, I just felt I was trying to be a little considerate to the residents in that neighborhood, that they're on their way to work in the morning, and I just felt that it would inconvenience them to have to go out of their way. This way it gets them out, and then by the end of the day when they return from work, it's back into it.
So, I mean, coming down the hill, you wouldn't be able to go into the
You
school.
wouldn't be able to go into Third Avenue as soon as you reach Hirsch.
And when you come up Williams, you wouldn't be able to.
You wouldn't be able, from Williams heading directly at the school, you won't be able to.
So you would have to go down Glover, around, come back out, and
Exactly.
force yourself out. One-way traffic around.
Exactly.
Does anybody have any questions for the chief?
Chief, under your authority, can we do this temporarily, to try for a month, to make sure it adjusts for you, and then, can you make an emergency, like it's emergency roads?
You can, but you're gonna have to put signage up, and
Well, I understand that, but
it's gonna be a cost
If
factor.
you want it done down, we give you
I
the
just
authority.
think, we have Bingham School, we have Downing School, we have one-way streets there, and we don't have half the problems there that we do. I mean, we have our problems
Well,
with Downing and Bingham, but it's.
My question to you, Chief, is if even we do a first reading tonight, it won't be effective till first of the year, 2 months? I'm saying, do you have the authority to do that on a temporary?
You have to do an
But
ordinance.
if he makes,
Say
but
ten-
but
say
an
ten-
emergency, can he do it as an emergency?
Yeah, yes, I'm just concerned about it. I'm worried about enforcement. It's not gonna work if you can't enforce it.
Yeah.
Do it as an emergency and move forward.
I mean, it might be a good idea to try something, just to get everybody used to it.
That's right.
But like
You
I
might
said,
find
we
you
can't
might run
enforce
out.
it. It will be an education for anybody. My officers just, that if they see somebody going the wrong way, just educate them. At that point, it's going to change in the future.
Mark, you and I both know I'm down there every day.
Mhm.
I drop my grandkids
I see it every
before I
morning.
leave or anywhere.
I see it every morning.
Somebody, if we don't do act, and this council don't act, somebody's gonna get very hurt. Because it's in like,
I mean, I had a conversation with Jack Kennedy on the phone. He was a little concerned about the school bus. Because right now, the school bus pulls right up to the curb and allows kids to step out to the curb. The other way around, they're gonna be stepping out into the street, but it's no different than any other street. You know, I've seen them come down the Black Horse Pike with the flashing lights on, cars stop, they get out, they walk across the front of the bus and cross to the other side of the street, and that's exactly what's gonna take place in front of the school. Well,
We should do a
Well,
first
it's
reading.
gonna be taking the traffic around, so to get these, we got to go around the block, we got to go up, make, turn out, or, go out to that farm, come all the way back around.
That's what he comes to us.
Yeah, you got to go
Down
around,
Lane.
go around.
Doesn't sound.
because everybody knows I live on that line.
Or close.
That's the issue.
Unless you've
I mean,
been down there
it's great for
experiencing it,
everybody,
you're not
but
gonna
only, you
understand.
know, for people that are gonna be dropping kids, but if you do go down, the other day I came up there,
If
it's
go up First Avenue, one, they got a problem up there, first, and that one. You're gonna need a stop sign first, that one.
Saturday, I'm trying to.
Takes the traffic around, so you got people flying up that road now.
well, the only thing like you said, okay, is I didn't know the opposite side, okay, I'll ride anywhere, but I gotta ride, okay, not to put up or down there, and I'm worried about when my granddaughter gets out, all right? And she has to walk from all the way up top of the hill, down the crossing guard, the one crossing guard we have right on what, Williams Avenue?
That's a very busy time in the morning, and I can't have an officer there, you know, for the entire time. What happens, you have parents coming in there, they'll drop the child off, they're parking in no parking areas, they'll pull U-turns right in the middle of everything. So it's absolutely
The people
ridiculous.
in there had to put up signs, no trespassing in their driveways.
I know.
Because they're making,
Both of you one way in.
Well, I think it's the traffic is much heavier is because they discontinued the bus service. The people down where I live, down Davis Road and all there, they were bused for years. Now the parents have to drive them because there's no sidewalk.
And they also changed the staggering times.
Right.
Exactly.
And it just created this traffic.
well, when I came up not too long ago, I got caught between two sets of cars and the bus and me were there, they had standoff there.
Oh, wow.
Mark, the idea is to be more, this is more convenient for the residents leaving to go to work, is that why you have it going the other direction? Do you think it's, you know, the residents, I know we don't want to impact them as much, but would it be easier for the residents, you know, if we came in like a natural way, one way going towards the farm? And then,
Coming down the hill.
then the people who live that way, I know some of them who live on Third further down, but maybe they go out singly or out other ways, I mean,
I just felt that if I, you know,
Then the
if I
bus-
live back there, but I think I would be inconvenienced by doing that.
but then the bus, the door is on the sidewalk side. When they're
Everybody's
picking them up.
work
when
at
they're-
time in the morning.
Chief, let me ask, what time do they get done? 7 they start to bring them in?
The first cars get on post right around 7:15.
Mark, look, what are they, most of the kids right now, because of the staggering starts, they have to be in by 8:15.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the kids are in by 8:15, so the front of your traffic is from 7:30 to 8:15.
So if you made it 7 to 8:30,
But he's saying that, like, you're right, we were short yesterday, remember yesterday?
Half sessions and,
oh, I mean, yeah.
Yesterday was a big day.
you get snow in the middle of the day, they'll let the kids out early.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem. It's always when there's rain or snow that you have more traffic than ever.
Truthfully, Dream, I think that you would do better on westbound for public safety, because everybody's coming from this side of town in your public safety division. You have a call on West Third, you're coming from this side, the fire department's coming, they're based on this side, they're gonna run down there, you're gonna make them go around and come back up. If they're going down, it's the direction that the flow goes anyway.
Good point.
That's the only point, that's the flow of every, the emergency vehicles.
I'm just trying to eliminate, I think if we do this and throw this on the residents, I think you're gonna have people in there up in arms over the fact that they're gonna be inconvenienced.
Well, you have the whole other side of town being inconvenienced from Hirsch Avenue all the way over, because you're making them go down around the exit, around the block and come up, and then they're gonna go back against their own traffic. I mean, you're there every day, I'm not, you know,
You want to review it, Chief, or?
Well,
have a meeting in a week, chief.
I think the point is the school year keeps going by, and we need to act.
Act.
Well, what?
This is the shortest month of days.
We have another meeting next week.
Right.
So you want to look at it again, and if you feel it's this, then we'll do it this way. If not, you want to, or you think this is the best way? You tell us, you're the chief.
I still think it's the best way.
I have this in my status report to talk about, and one of the things I was gonna ask about is if it's something you wanted us. Chief is looking for a letter for us as to do the ordinance, but we have to do a mini traffic study, not extensive, so I just wanna know if I have.
Is it DOT?
No, it's just local, we have to do it, if you change traffic patterns for the you have to do a traffic study that can back up, kind of do it. Councilman White didn't want me to go ahead and do a mini study until we got a concurrence of the board, and that's what he wanted. We could look on what makes sense from a safety standpoint, and which direction we want to go.
Could you do it in a week?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, as a fireman,
Yes.
the firehouse, you got a fire pole on Second Avenue, front down the school. Are you gonna drive all the way around the block when you see the house is on fire right there, or are you gonna go up the wrong way on a one-way street?
But the traffic's not that heavy. That's the difference I'm saying. The traffic that you get coming down Second Avenue,
What about if it's still in school? Same thing, that's when traffic says this, when school is going, when kids are.
but it's also the amount of equipment that's coming, because everybody else is coming from the other way. Barrington's coming, Jews will come up, and you're right, we do go up that way, we're always, it's not like we don't do that, but it's also a slower block.
But
but you're going a long distance around the block. I'm saying is, to get around that block, I would have to go down to Detmar, down to Allen, down to Glover. You're talking 2 minutes, and then
Let me ask you, Mark, can you do a traffic study, or the chief of traffic study by, next Tuesday? So we can look at it, put it in everybody's box, you can grab it for Wednesday, or?
the real world, chief, would be, in the morning goes this way, and this way in the afternoon when they're leaving town. I know that. But our residents will never understand generalized.
Then we gotta do the ordinance and all that, so we gotta have it,
First reading next week, so.
yeah, if we're gonna, I mean.
Does anybody in here, I got a question, does anybody here live down this way? Exactly. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a wise decision to make it one way for that hour and a half.
Which direction?
If,
As a resident living back there,
I live on Detmar, you know, I live down the street from you. So I think that coming down Third Avenue toward Green Acres in the morning, make it one way, so they have to go down to Glover, down through Ellen and Detmar, or they could come back through Glover and go down, you know.
but you live on
down that way.
Detmar, and you normally go straight up to Hirsch Avenue anyway.
Correct, depending on what
Avoid
patient I
traffic.
have, you know, sometimes I start out there in the thing. I think that the concern is, that I had with, what Nick said, was getting out onto Singley Avenue, onto Clemensbridge Road, it is gridlocked in the morning. You cannot safely make a left-hand turn. People will not let you out, funneling off of Route 42, going up toward the Philly Diner and everything. It is impossible.
See, we have a problem, that's a state highway, and we have no control over state
Yeah,
highway.
but I think it's a wise decision, because if you visualize it, if you go out Detmar Terrace and then come back up Williams or Hirsch, whichever one you wanted to do, you'd be making a right-hand turn, because you couldn't go back toward Green Acres. And if the traffic's coming down this way, really nobody's going to be coming, you know, it's going to be a smooth left. Or a smooth right, I'm sorry, a smooth right.
Chief, you work with Mark on this? Thank you. One other thing, the police contract, we're 99% there. Rich and I were talking this morning, we have a thing on vacation, correct? A couple little things? Couple little minor items, and it should be done. I thought it should have been done today. I saw John Works truck here, and I called Rich later on, and Rich said, no, he didn't go in. I thought they were in there doing this. But it's a little communication problem. But everything goes so far, you know what I mean? It's nothing heated, nothing bad, nothing, you know.
These aren't negotiable?
No, they're not negotiable. It's what it is, a couple words, language in there.
Just
That's all.
we have 30 seconds just for those that may not understand where we are on this. Basically, in an effort to finalize the contract and also to, as some people may call it, beat deadlines that the state had imposed regarding health benefits and other issues, because we had been negotiating back and forth to work out numbers, we had a special meeting and we basically we ratified the contract. And what we had was the old contract and the worksheet that authorized the changes that were signed off by myself and Mr. Work. Included to go with that were the changes regarding civil service language. And now there's some back and forth whether it should say this or shouldn't say that. But we have an agreement. Unfortunately, we don't have the executed final version in our hands, which is what we're trying to get. And I know there's been some requests for that. And no one other than me would love to see that ink on that contract. So.
Too, is Don and Lou, and we all just can't get on the same page too. We sat down one, what was it, a week ago?
Right.
And after that meeting, we got a lot of stuff of the civil service language, not good. You know, that has to be in the contract.
But these are statutory requirements.
Yes.
It's the civil service.
Yes.
Right, the problem is though, if there was a provision in the previous contract that said that you only get 5 of something, and civil service says that you're required to get 12, we can't sign a contract that says that there's 5.
We're gonna do changing. So, but everything's in the right direction. Everything's going good. Thank goodness. Okay, any questions?
Like I said, I'm under the impression we're a civil service town now.
Yes.
Yes.
When a contract expires, we're now obligated, is that correct, to limit the statute?
Yes, we have to. And
I thought we
that's
had-
what we gotta put that
There's
in.
specific case law, in civil service, that says that you can't have things in your contract that are contrary to the civil service. But that doesn't mean that it won't create headaches if there are in there. So, I mean, we need to make sure that it's proper
We
before.
want to make sure it's right before we execute it, before we don't come back. I don't know.
Thank you. Mark?